Hello guys, welcome to CodeCorp and welcome to the interview series. So today in this video we'll be covering the optional topic, the Java 8 features that we were covering. So most of the topics has been covered, as you know already. Like we have covered lambda expressions, we have covered functional interfaces, we have covered in previous videos. Method referencing also we have covered, and one more video was that was explaining about all the existing functional interfaces that we have, like producer, consumer, suppliers and all. So that is also covered. So in this video we'll be covering about the optional classes. Why we are taking optional classes previous to the stream API? It's because like in stream API also we use optional classes to get some of the objects that might throw up null pointer errors. Okay, so to understand the use of optional, we must need to understand like why they are used and in what cases they are used generally. So optional classes are generally used in the case of the null pointer errors when they come. So to catch those errors, or I would say not catch, to handle the scenario in which like a null pointer error can be thrown when we are not sure whether this code is going to throw null pointer or not, then in that case we generally use optional classes. So for this video we are going to cover these topics: what is a null pointer error, what is the optional classes, and how optional classes is useful in case of null pointers. So we are gonna cover all of these with the help of Eclipse ADI's code. Okay, so let's dive into the code section. So first, to explain like what is the null pointer error. So when we are trying to call a method over a null value, suppose there is some string. Suppose there is some string. CodeCorp is there. Okay, so this is the string, and you know that string is also having one method that is not dot length, like string dot length. If I do this, then I'll be getting the length of the string that I have passed in this method. Okay. What if my string is null? Then in that case, what will happen? The length the length method is gonna get called on the null value, and when we are calling any method on the null value, then it is gonna return us the null pointer error. So let me show you with this example. So I'm taking the same example. Suppose I'm gonna take string str is equal to dot. I have taken this, and I'm calling like strum dot println str dot. And so now this code will run without any issue, as we are calling the length method on the string value, and that the value is there. Then it will be returning the length of the string, that is 8. So you can see now it is returning. Now what if I am going to declare it as a null? Suppose I'm going to declare it as null, because we can declare a string as null. Then what will happen here? It will throw null pointer error. Let me show you how. So if I am running it, because this value is null, and if we are calling any method over a null value, then it is gonna return us null pointer error. Okay. So here you can see here null pointer error is coming. So in this case, what do we have to do? And similarly, like if I am, let me show you like more real world example. Suppose I have an employee class here. So let me create this employee class. Yeah, so this is the employee class that I have created in this particular file only. So we'll be having two attribute of this employee. One is the name and other one is the age. So here I have provided the constructor and I have provided the getter setters for that. Okay, so suppose I have one method here in this class that is gonna return me the name. Like suppose that is gonna return me an employee object with that particular name that I am gonna call him. So suppose I'm creating one method here, private static employee. Suppose get by name is my method. So I'm passing here any value, string name. I'm passing any value here, and if I'm getting suppose this is gonna, in real world example, what happens generally, like this get by name methods will go to the repository, and then the repository will go into the DB and search for this name, whether it is present there or not, and then if it is present, then it returns the value. So to mock that thing, we'll be gonna creating a hard code object here of the employee class. Suppose I'm gonna create employee employee is equal to new employee Ravi. Suppose I'm giving an example Ravi, and the age I am giving is Okay, I have given the age as a string and it should be changed to int. Okay, I'm doing this change only. Get name, set name, string dot get age. Okay, set age. Okay, now everything is done. Okay, so suppose I'm creating a Ravi with the age of 28. Okay, and it is returning employee, and it is this class, this method is returning this object. Return employee. Okay, so the employee object has been returned, and here also, like in this object, I am calling this method uh, employee emp is equal to get by name. I am getting it get by name, and I am passing a value here. Suppose I'm passing uh, sorry, I'm passing a week. So the and this my name I can give it here directly, and this new object will be creating with this name only that we are passing. So just for the marking purpose only, I am creating a new object here. In the real world example, what will happen that this is gonna search in the DB and gonna check like whether this name exists in that or not, and if it exists, then it is gonna create an object and then gonna return it. Okay, for in this case, if I am getting any object with this name, then I'm gonna catch it here, and suppose I'm gonna print the name of this employee. This out. Emp dot get age. So for this example, this is gonna run without any issue because we are passing a name here and the object is getting created, and then we are getting that object only. So this is gonna not throw any error. This is gonna print the name of that age of that object that we have created. So the Ravi has got created and its age 28 is gonna print it here. Okay, it is getting printed. So the issue arises like, what if this object is returning a null value? Suppose in the DB, so it is suppose I'm writing it here. Let me write it down. So this is the mock call DB. Okay. Suppose in real world call, this employee is gonna not present with this name. The employee is not gonna there in the DB. Then in this case, what will happen? Like, if DB could not Ravi employee doesn't exist in DB. So in that case, what will gonna happen? Suppose let me comment it out. In this case, what will gonna happen? In that case, that employee object is gonna return a null value. Okay, suppose here it is gonna return a null value. So in this case, what will happen? Like if we are returning a null value here, and then in amp the null value will be get assigned, and on the null value, as we have recently discussed, like if we are gonna call any method on a null value, then it is gonna return null pointer issues. As we can see it here, it is gonna return a null pointer. So so what do we have to do in this case? So in what is gonna happen? Optional class provided a box type thing, whether the employee object or any kind of object is gonna present inside the optional class or not. That's not gonna matter. Your code flow should not gonna stop. It will be working smoothly. So here you can see if we are returning null, then our code flow is gonna get affected and it is throwing a null pointer error. When optional class comes into the picture, like it's gonna return an object which may or may not have any value inside it. Okay, so it might sound confusing to you initially. So what is gonna return? So optional class, if we gonna check inside, like optional having multiple value, and again recently I have told you like this is a generic value, so we can create an optional class of any our custom class object or any of the class we can create an optional. So here, what if we declare an optional of type employee? We gonna create an optional of type employee, and here we are gonna say optional employee, and in this case we can return it as null also. And if we're gonna return the optional employee here, then we gonna change the return type of this method to an optional employee as well. Okay, so that has been changed. So now we have to receive it in the optional type also. Here you can see we have to receive it in the optional type also. And if we are passing, then we do have one method that is an dot get method. Okay, so whatever, like this optional class will be having an object of employee, and if we want to access that object, then we are gonna have to use this method. Like if I am declaring here employee emp1, then I have to write like this emp dot, you can see get method is there. Get of what type? Employee. So it is, this get method is returning an employee. Here you can see. So now you can see, and from here we can print the name of the employee that we have given. So here you can see in the optional we do have one, like we want to wrap that employee object inside an optional box, considering we were considering the optional classes as a box which may or may not have any value inside it. So suppose if we can give it as of nullable. So optional of nullable, like whether this new employee object can return a null value, it could have a null, or it could have an original value inside it. So like this we gonna write it here, and it do have like multiple method also. Like if I am gonna call it here, you can see optional. If I'm gonna use it optional dot, then again you can see these type of values it is having. Of nullable is empty. So whatever we want, we can return according to our requirement. So here we are returning this new employee. Okay, we are declaring a new employee and we are writing it of nullable. Then we are returning this optional employee here, and inside here we are creating it by name, and we are using dot get method, and then we are again writing the code to get the age, and then simply printing it, and this will run smoothly. So what will happen in this case? Like suppose if I am returning here again, then if I'm returning here null, then what will happen? This employee will get null, and if we are calling dot get method on this null, then again we are gonna get null pointer error. So this is the kind of defect we can say in the optional classes that Java developers might get regretted about, like that, because like dot get method, they should not been provided. They should provide an earlier check, because again if we want to check that if this emp object is not having a null value, then we have to again put a check here. Like if to check whether the null value is present inside this or not, they have provided us one method that is present. So if emp is present, then only it is gonna use the get method, and it's gonna print the age of the Ravi employee that we have created here. Otherwise what it's gonna do, it's gonna simply print that like employee not found. As in this example, you can see employee not found has been printed. So like you must be thinking like, what is the use of this whole code? Because earlier also we were doing the same thing. We were checking the, we can also do this thing without using this optional thing. We can do it like simply put a null check there, like if it is returning or not. Then if you are first learning the concept of the optionals and how to working with them, then you should go with this way only. And once you are getting comfortable with the optional, then you have like multiple number of like I would say optimized methods of the optional class that can be used here. So let me tell you about a few of those, like emp dot. If you will do emp dot, then you will be having this like if present. What is like if present? Then you are gonna pass one consumer here, like to print the names of all the optionals those are present. Is empty is present, that already given to you. Or else get, you can also pass it here. It will be asking for a supplier. I have already told you in the previous video. So in that case, like using this, and mostly one of the commonly used thing is like or else you can do. Suppose if you don't want to write this long code, and you are gonna create like return a one default employee in case your employee by name Ravi is not found. Suppose in that case, what you're gonna do, like you're gonna create your own employee with some other name and then gonna return it. So for that purpose, what you can do, let me comment this out, and let me tell you like what else we can do here. Okay, So one of the most commonly used optional function is like or else we are using here, like suppose emp dot, I am giving a emp dot or else what happen, like here, like either will be getting this employee with the name Ravi, or else you are gonna create some another employee here, and you are gonna return that. Suppose code for tutor, and age you can give any 30 or something. Okay, so what this is gonna do, this is gonna if the employee is not present, emp is returning null, then this is gonna not stop you from getting anything. This is gonna return a this like default object or something. This is gonna return this default object. This is gonna this is not gonna stop the code flow. So how to guess, how to check like if it is working or not? Suppose I am passing it here, the null. I'm passing null here. So in this case, if you will go here, so let me show you. So suppose I am taking this one in this employee, okay, and turn and emp1 get name with space. I am gonna write it down, get age. So let's understand it again. What will happen? So suppose this employee is returning null. It is not gonna find. It is not present in the DB. Then it's gonna return null. What will happen? We have used like or else here. So if it is present here, the Ravi is present, then it is gonna send it to the name here, and after that it is gonna printing its name and age. Okay, and if it is not present, then we are creating a new default employee named CodeCorp tutor, and we are returning it to the mp1, and then we are printing its name and age. So let's check both of the scenarios. Okay, so here suppose it is gonna taking me like we are returning it here emp, and we are returning this employee here. Okay, so we have passed. So in this scenario, the name and age of this Ravi thing, they need to be printed, like Ravi 28. These things should be printed. Okay, you can see Ravi 20 is getting printed, which means like or else this whole part is not working. Only the emp1 we are getting employee, and after that emp1 dot get name and get age we are getting the output. Suppose I am returning null from here. Suppose I couldn't find anything in the DB. Okay, I'm returning null now. So in this case, it is gonna get handled with this or else thing. Okay, it is going to return a CodeCorp tutor and with the age of 30. So this is how the optional classes generally works. So this might be a little bit confusing, but once you go through all the methods of the optional class, then it's going to get clear to you. It's going to get much clear with the practice only. So yeah, that is pretty much all about optional classes in Java. And how are we going to use them in Stream API, that I'm going to tell you with the Stream API videos. Okay, so I think that is it for now. So if you like the video, then please do comment and like and share and subscribe. And if you have any doubt, just feel free to ask me related to the optional classes in the comment section. So that's it. Thank you.